What's going on, guys? It's Bougetta here, and I'm finally bringing a video talking about tuning a car from scratch. So the first thing, you want to make sure that you have your car on ultimate tune, and the first thing I do is adjust springs. And by the way, I clipped this and now I'm talking over it. So normally on average size cars, I run spring stiffness anywhere from the 70s to the 80s. Front toe is always farthest to the left, and rear toe is decimal 20. I'll worry about the camber and the spring height at the end. Anti-roll bar normally anywhere from the 30s to the 70s. But when I'm first tuning a car, I put it around 50 to 60 because when I test drive it, I want to see if the car rocks at all, and I want to adjust my stiffness. Caster always 10, Ackerman always 40, and max steering angle always. Rim size normally 19, some cars 18s. Tire width 285, front tire pressure 75, rear 70. And I don't like having my cars over 800 horsepower, so I like to bring it down. Diff lock, this is a sort of a bigger car, so I'll go decimal 85. Final drive always 340. First gear always 2. And gears, I roughly just guess at the very beginning and kind of wing it. Normally I'm 1.60 for my second gear, and then I go down by 10 or like 165, anywhere around there normally. Brakes always 1800 and 70%. ABS is always on. I don't think I left anything out. Dampers I will worry about after while I am test driving. And when you do your test drive for the dyno, always use Red Rock because it is one of the most popular maps. Most people drive on it. And there's a lot of elevation changes, so that's where you can adjust your dampers and shit. And normally camber, I go front anywhere from like 8.5 to like 7.5. Rear normally always around 3 to 5, anywhere in there, depending on the fitment that I want. I like my wheels to be sticking out a little bit when I do my the fuck is it called? I can't remember. It'll show it in a second. It's in the wheels category. Come on, why did it take so long? Oh yeah, by the way, I'm very picky. I need to have my numbers on a specific number. It can't be like 3.51. Like it has to be 350. Wheel track, that is what it's called. I've realized when you do there's a trick. You go to your steering angle to see if your tire is going through your fender. And I always found that if it is, that means you're running too much wheel track, and it can actually kind of fuck with your steering. So I'll normally run like 3 to 4 on the front, maybe 5 if I'm feeling a little fancy in the rear. All really depends on the fitment I like or want. So yeah, you want to use Red Rock due to the elevation changes, and it's the most popular map. So normally when you're drifting with people, you're going to be drifting on this map, but if you don't play this map, that is totally fine, but I do recommend using it when you're tuning your car. And it's taking forever to load in. I apologize. Hopefully you have patience. I fucking don't. Like, I'm kind of getting annoyed right now, truth be told. So yeah, and the reason why I first gear at 2 is because in the newer tracks, there's a lot of small, tight turns, and I go down to first gear and it helps. So you can notice the car is wobbling, and adjusting your anti-roll bar, stiffening it, will get rid of that wobble. And as you can see, my gears aren't really bouncing off of the rev limiter really at all, and I don't like that personally. I like to be hitting the rev limiter and throttle controlling a lot, which is coming and going off the gas. And the springs didn't really feel right. The car felt a little loose, so I just fine-tuned them. I had to go back to the camber because it was pissing me off about the numbers. I'm pretty sure I have to adjust it again. Yeah, see, I always have to have it on the dot. So I kind of just guessed maybe I'll go up just a little bit, maybe it'll fix it. I don't want to go overboard and make my car way too stiff when I'm turning and spinning out. I adjust the gears just a slight bit. I don't want to go overboard just in case if it fully fucks it up and then I have to go back. You always want to just fine tune as you're working your way through. You know, you don't want to rush in, just go up a drastic amount of numbers and then it just fucks you up. So I noticed there was still a little bit of wobble in the car. I do fix it. So yeah, as you can see, the gears, they're getting closer to the rev limiter, but they don't want to exactly bounce off of it constantly. And I like to do that. I like to throttle control. It makes the game more fun instead of just fucking holding on the trigger, you know. It's kind of boring. And I like just hearing the car, you know. It's just dope. Did that sound like a car? I think it did. So yeah. The car felt a bit nicer on transitions, I find, or found, past tense. But there was still just that little bit of wobble. And the gears still just weren't there. You can see they're just starting to get into the red zone, which is the rev limiter. And how long do I fucking go for? Goddamn. Really ripping it. Oh. Actually, something else that I can mention is we're getting to the elevation areas of the line, and this is where the dampers come in. I don't think I do it yet. No, I fine-tune the gears just up 2, because I figured, you know, like I'm right there where I want to be, so I'm just gonna up it just a little bit. Not gonna go overboard. And there was still a bit of wobble. So I just went up 2, I believe that was 2, right? Yeah. And what's nice now about when you test drive your cars, you go right back where you left off, right? Okay, so yeah, the gears were starting to get in the red, or the rev limiter, brain dead, hitting off the rev limiter a bit, but not exactly how I like it personally. There was still like the teeniest bit of wobble, and you can notice the car is bouncing a lot. The body is moving like too much, more than it should be. So that's where dampers come in, and that is why I tell you to test drive your car on Red Rock, because it probably has the worst bumps for any map. If there's one that's worse, let me know. But I'm pretty confident that this is the one that takes people off the most. You know, I've had cars when I didn't know how to adjust dampers, and I'm just like I caught air. Like, and you don't want to do that, because then once you land, you lose your momentum, right? So yeah, the gears were better, but not quite there. Like just right there. So I go back. I just up it 2 again. And now look, tuning is going to be frustrating, dude. It's not something easy. And the reason why I showed this car, the Toyota Soarer, I apologize if I pronounced that wrong, because it proves that it's a nice car, and you can do this with any car, dude. Larger cars, it's harder. You have to adjust the spring stiffness and the anti-roll a lot more. So I kind of just guess when it comes to dampers. I don't go all the way over to fully stiffen it, because then it's just going to be annoying, and you actually lose what is it? It can slow down the functioning of the suspension too much. Thanks, CarX. So yeah, I just up it a little bit, make it seem reasonable, and I like to have it as like a right number. You know, I'm not doing like 5,529 or something, right? Like I'm making it like proper numbers, if you know what I'm trying to say. So the gears a lot better. It's not hitting the rev limiter. We haven't gotten to the turns where it normally does. I think I adjust them a little bit. I could be wrong, or I might leave them here. I might go back after this video is done and adjust it. And if I'm explaining this shit bad, I apologize, man. I just got off of a 10-hour shift. But you guys wanted a video like this, and like I'm trying to do it, you know. So cut me a little bit of slack. But yeah, as you can see, there's no more roll in the car. Maybe like the slightest bit. So maybe like up it by like 2, 3, something like that. Yeah, see, it's hitting off the rev limiter a bit how I like it. I'm pretty sure I do a full run here because I want to see how the dampers do over the bumps, which we were coming up to. Come on, bougetta. As you can see, it's handling the bumps better. You can't really tell that they're there. Maybe adjust the stiffness just a bit. Now, this isn't a tune that I would just use. You know, I kind of just like threw this together and just fuck it, right? And it's actually working. But I would recommend not using the tune because I didn't put like a whole lot of effort into it. I kind of just threw it together, right, for this video. But it's still working, and it's still, you know, showing examples of what I'm trying to explain, right? And this goes for every car, but 4 doors like the Toyota Chasers, or like the Corvette and the Vipers and shit, you're gonna have to adjust the anti-roll and stiffness a lot more because they're bigger and heavier cars. But actually, the Toyota Chasers are actually light cars for being a 4-door, fucking boat. But you still have to adjust that spring stiffness and anti-roll a lot because it's so long, right? Because the car is so long, it wants to like wobble and shit, so that's why you have to adjust the stiffness. But yeah, I hope that helped.